Hi there and welcome to this week's Hockey Inside Out show. I'm Stu Cowan of the Gazette, joined by my regular partners here, former Canadiens teammates and 1986 Stanley Cup champs, Chris Nilan and Rick Green. Knuckles, great to have you back. I know you were away last week on a road trip with the Canadiens old-timers, which I'm sure is always a lot of fun. In the meantime, the Canadiens ended their four-game road trip with a 4-3 overtime win over the Seattle Kraken Tuesday night with Cole Caulfield, who else, scoring the winning goal. The Canadiens finished the road trip with a 3-1 record and were sitting in first place in the Atlantic Division with an 8-3 record when they returned home to Montreal. Knuckles, this is the youngest team in the NHL. What did you learn about these guys during this road trip?
Well, listen, a great road trip by this team, no question. They seem like they're coming into their own. They're quick, they're fast, they're talented. One of the problem areas with this team over the past few years was in their own end of the rink. They seem to be spending less time there. They're getting back. They're moving the puck up the ice quickly. Guys are coming back to the puck so he can come up. And when the other team has a full control, it seems like they're trapping. They're going into a 1-2-2, and they're trying to frustrate teams in the neutral zone, use their speed and quickness in their transition game to get back into the offensive zone as quickly as possible. So they've been doing a lot of good things. Credit to the coach and sticking to his philosophy and, sticking with these guys and using the right combos. Things are going good. Still early, okay, but it's a great start, and it's better than better than 3-8 and digging out all season. It's good to have teams looking at their backside, no question about it.
Yeah, they had to dig out of a hole last year, Rick. And last year at this time, we were talking about how confused they look in their own end. But that's, as Knuckles said, puck goes in, puck comes out now, it looks like.
Well, they seem to have understood what their job is with and without the puck, and they're committed to playing hard, getting involved, and consistently finding ways to be at their best. And, hats off to them as a group. The chemistry is there. They're developing some great habits, and they're having fun. I've never seen a group that smiles as much as they're smiling. Obviously, the results are helping there, but they just have a really good, close group that are prepared to do anything for each and every one of the guys that are in the lineup. And, they're getting stability in the goaltending. They're getting some timely saves that's allowing them to stay in the game. But I think the bottom line here is this group it's not a fluke. I think they're the real deal. I think that they're really, really motivated and driven to have a great year. And they got a lot of guys delivering on all fronts and really nice to watch. And I think this is going to continue. I know it's a long year, but to this point, it's really nice to see the type of things that they're doing right now as a group, and the results are showing.
Knuckles, the key for any coach is to get guys to buy into the system you want them to play, right? And these guys really seem to be bought in. It's a heavy forecheck, aggressive in the neutral zone. Don't let them get in. I mean, as a player in your day, would this have been a fun system to play?
Yeah, because I could skate. No, listen, any system, and Lemay said it best. The most difficult part a coach has to do is get a group of guys to play together as a team. And there were certainly growing pains, a lot of young guys, right? Young guys want to do a lot. They want to sometimes do more than they should. And when they start to understand the system and they start to mature as players at this level, things start to pay off. And there's no question this coach has he's instilled some things in each and every one of these kids that is starting to pay off. And and I said it before, I'll say it again. I thought this coach, there were times he should, crack the whip, and we didn't see it. He was pretty consistent in his message and his delivery of his message, which I think is key. And he stayed true to himself and his beliefs and his philosophy. And like I said, it's paying off. Like, it's awesome to see it come together. And again, they're starting to mature as a group.
Rick is a former defenseman and former coach of the Canadiens defense. I mean, their defense are pinching all over the place in the offensive zone, really aggressive in the neutral zone, not trying to make it as difficult as possible for the other team to even get into the offensive zone. You can't do this if you don't have guys like Carrier and guys that can skate like that. But just what do you like about the way they're doing this, playing this system?
It's really amazing to see how aggressive the defense are on the pinches. I mean, a lot of times you see them down almost behind the net, but that's fine, providing your forward is going to cover for you. And the Montreal Canadiens right now are buying into that fact that, okay, the D are going to go, they're going to get involved. It's my job to back him up so that we don't end up with a run and gun style of play where we're going to give odd man rushes. And with that forward also being disciplined and staying high, it allows the defense to stay up in the neutral zone and make things really difficult for the oppositions to gain speed through the neutral zone, and also allow them to break up a lot of the plays as they start to come up the ice. And just overall, the guys with and without the puck are really focused on what they need to do. And we're seeing some really good things happening. And obviously, with their power play going the way it's going, and the guys that are contributing offensively with one of the top in the league for goals for, really nice to see, and really, deserving of the type of effort that they're putting into what they need to do to win in each and every night.
Well, Knuckles, Rick mentioned the power play there. It's been cooking since Marty St. Louis put Ivan Demidov on the first power play unit. It seemed surprising he waited as long as he did. Not as long as he waited with Lane Hudson last year, but why do you think Marty waited like he did before putting Demidov in that spot?
Listen, it's like anything. This kid comes in with a lot of hype, right? Everybody's going to be rookie of the year, this and that. That's a lot of pressure on a young kid. So I think, he wanted to let him feel his way, start to, blend in with this group. And there's no question he got off to a hot start. I think Marty couldn't wait any longer because he's seen the abilities of this kid. He knew he had the talent. He's really shifty. He's really elusive. And if you watch him when he's on that half wall, he doesn't stand still. He moves his feet when he gets the puck. And he's shifty. And those things are able to open up that seam pass quite a bit, right? He gets the puck. He just moves his feet. He got great vision on who's who and where they are. And, he's just one of the better playmaking passes, and he can also shoot the puck from that position. So, yeah, he's there, and I'm sure the coach would have loved to maybe put him out there the first game of the season. But, no, he made him earn it a little. Let's see what you can do. And, I think it's he's awesome, great player. He's a great player.
Rick, you've been in the locker room as an assistant coach under Claude Julien. Is there sort of a pecking order, like when a rookie comes in, does it maybe create some problems in the room if you put him right away on the first power play unit and take somebody else off?
Yeah, I think you have to be careful that you just don't overdo it with a new kid, coming into the lineup, with giving them the opportunity without maybe earning it. And, depending on the personality, each one is different. But, when you look at a guy like Demidov with the skill set that he has, it's a no-brainer when it comes down to, obviously, him making things happen. And like Knox had mentioned, I think that it was a question of let's let this kid get a feel for just what things are all about without overwhelming them in a lot of situations, and then let it play out, moving forward. And obviously, it was a great move because he is making things happen. He's a great skilled player, and the type of passing that he makes and the plays that he makes at such an early stage in his career, there's going to be great things happening, moving forward. So, it's all good. It's a nice luxury to have as a coach when you look in the bench and you can go, oh, this guy's going to go in, that guy's going to go in. Maybe we'll shake it up a little bit, knowing very well that the skill set of those individuals you're going to put in the lineup are going to make something happen.
Yep. Knuckles, Marty said that Demidov showed to him that he was willing to play a defensive game and play two ways, and that sort of led to him deciding, okay, we're going to put him on. And I guess for any young player, and this is the youngest team in the NHL, I mean, it's sort of impressive the way all these young guys are playing defense, including like Cole Caulfield. Talk about all the goals he scored. Like, he's flying all over the ice. That's on the coach, I think, getting these guys to play that way, right?
Yeah, well, it has to be. You can't just give. You got to have guys earn it. You got to realize when you do not have the puck as a team, you're on defense. You're trying to get that puck back, and you're as important as the two defensemen back there. You got to come and support them. You got to give them outs. You got to come back to the puck, and it certainly has taken a few years, and this fan base has been patient. Everybody's been patient, and we're starting to see the fruits of what this coach is trying to instill in this team, and it's awesome to watch. And he's striving for that consistency night in and night out, and so far they've been pretty consistent, even in the games they lost.
Yeah, I know, Rick, one of your favorite lines is never trust the forward, but obviously the Canadiens' defense are trusting the forwards, and you have to think as this moves forward, it might get even better as that trust grows more and more.
Well, they're really confident in their team game, and you look at the success that they're having is because they're playing a team game, and you've got guys that are committed to playing defense when it's time to play defense, and there's no exceptions. And Martin St. Louis has made that point that, listen, if you don't follow the plan, then you're not part of the mix. So this is the kind of game that we need to play if we're going to have any kind of success. No passengers, team game, and let's go with it this way. And judging by what we've seen so far, the commitment that they have with forward defensemen, the relationship that they have with trusting each other and understanding that they are committed to do what they have to do to cover for each other. It's great to see, and obviously the results speak for themselves.
Knuckles, were you surprised that it was Zachary Bolduc who came out to make room for Demidov? I mean, Slavkovsky didn't look comfortable in that half-wall position. I think he's obviously much better suited in front of the net where he is now, but that's another tough decision, I guess, for Marty. Who do you take off when you're going to put Demidov in?
Well, listen, Bolduc, he's got a good shot. He's a big kid. I get all that. You got a big guy out there in Slavkovsky. You need a guy on that wall that can make good choices with the puck and is a good passer. When Slav was on there, some of his passes, honestly, he's a pounder. He's a big boy. I like his game, 5-on-5, and not that he can't play in the power play, no question. I just don't think the best place for him is on that half wall, like front of the net, get in the corners, retrieve pucks, take bodies, all those things. And yeah, I'm not surprised at all. Demidov should be there.
Yeah, Rick, I mean, you played a lot of defense, penalty killing during your days on some bad teams in Washington too, but with this Canadiens power play, what would make it, as a defenseman, what would make it so dangerous?
Their puck movement. They're unbelievable as far as the quickness and the decisions they make with the puck. They'll make a couple short plays, short passes to try and get the defenders out of position. And then next thing you know, zoom, it goes across the seam and the guy's wide open. And what I find amazing, and again, this is just talk about chemistry, I don't know if there's 100% of the time that these guys make these seam passes know exactly where the player is, because they can throw it from behind the net or out of the corners almost blind, knowing very well their teammate is going to be there. And they do that so well to the point where you go, what a great play, just, exceptional talent. And, as a defender, man, it's tough when you get that type of skill set with guys that know when to pass, when to shoot. And it's a difficult job to try and shut down those type of skilled players that have that knack to know when to shoot and when to pass, and it's really great to see, and they're getting results.
Knuckles, a lot of focus on Demidov. Coming into the season, he was the betting favorite to be the Calder Trophy winner, following Lane Hudson, who was the first Canadiens Calder Trophy winner since Ken Dryden way back in the early 1970s. Now Demidov might have some competition from Oliver Kapanen and Dobish in goal. Just with Kapanen, we'll start with him. What's really impressed you about his play so far?
Yeah, we heard the coach say it, how he thinks the game. He's smart. He's got hockey sense. The bright kid. He's in good position all the time. He's got a sneaky, quick shot. He just understands the game, and he reads the game well. Again, 200-foot player, not half the rink, not quarter of the rink. I like what I see in him, no question about it. As far as Dobesh, this kid, he reminded me a little Patrick, when he came in and got a great attitude, a little laissez-faire. I think away from the rink, the way he carried himself. I really like the kid. You see it last night, going into the third period, right at the beginning. What's that kid? Beignets, what is his name?
Mm-hmm, yeah, with Seattle.
Yeah, Beignets.
Mm-hmm.
He had a great opportunity where he walked right down the middle. It was right around the 2-3 minute mark. Here's a game 2-0. And he comes out and challenges and goes down the butterfly, makes a left pad save he made it look so routine. And he challenges. He's a battler. I like what I see in this goalie. There's no question. And, how can you argue with the record? He's done well. I mean, listen, not all the goalie, but he's made some key saves at key times in the game to keep the Habs where they need to be.
Yeah, Rick Marty's going to have a tough decision going forward with the goaltenders and with Montembeault also. But, I mean, the players obviously seem to have confidence in Dobush right now, which is huge.
Yeah, I mean, look at the record speaks for itself. And, Dobush is doing the job. And, it's probably a good situation to have, but they have to have Monty back in there one of these games to get his game back. And it's been a while since he's been in the net. But, you mentioned Kapanen. I really am impressed with this kid. He's 6'2". I didn't realize he's that big. And he goes to the net. He's not afraid. He's involved. He's around traffic. He causes a lot of havoc out there when he's on the ice. And as a young kid, that's great stuff to see such early on in his career. But what a nice situation to have that type of depth in your lineup, that you can throw any one of those guys out there and they're going to make their contribution. But Dobush, Nucks talked on his type of play, really an aggressive type goalie, big, mobile, and competitive. And he's like, come on, you want to beat me, you better earn it. And he looks him and stares him right in the face, a lot of the guys, and says, you're not getting anything by me tonight. And this is the type of character that you need in a goalie like that. And he's delivering, and the guys are really, really confident knowing that he's going to be there in the event of a breakdown, which they have had, and he's been able to hold the fort for them to give them a chance to win.
With Kapanen, one of the reasons they drafted him, this goes back to the days of Mark Bergevin and Trevor Timmins, is they thought he was going to fill out. He wasn't that big when they drafted him. They thought he would fill out and be a bigger guy, and we're seeing that now, and the confidence he has. And I think last season they were really smart when they kept him here for a dozen games or so, then sent him back to Europe to play over there. And we just see him playing with so much confidence now. And, we've had a couple of call-ups this season, Knuckles. Owen Beck and Joshua Waugh called up from Laval ahead of Florian Jacki. Fans fell in love with Florian during the preseason. Were you a little surprised that those two guys were called up before Florian?
Not so much. What's worse than having to deal with one Jacki, two Jackis? So, listen, I think they want him to go down there. They wanted to see how he's going to react after camp. He got a taste. They have plans for him to be here. I think he'll be up here before Christmas. We'll see. Again, injuries, all those things. I think they want him to go down there and play and show us again what you can do. Show us what you did last year. Let's see you keep playing and comment. If he's up here, listen, the two guys you just talked about, are they in the lineup?
Yeah.
What good is it to have him here if he's going to be out of the lineup? So have him down there playing, and when it's time, he'll be up here. And I think these guys know well enough when that time will be. And I certainly trust in what they're doing here. So he'll be here, I would think, before Christmas, maybe even American Thanksgiving.
Well, Rick, they called up Owen Beck first, sent him down, then they called up Joshua Waugh. It's starting to look like this is Waugh's last chance to make this team. What do you think? Part of the future.
I wouldn't be too quick to judge on that. In all fairness to Joshua, the kid has skills. he needs an opportunity to play. He needs to be surrounded with some pretty good players to allow him to, to do his thing out there. And I don't know whether you're giving a player like that 6 minutes a game with maybe not exactly the type of guys surrounding him that are going to allow him to progress in a good way. You can say, take advantage of the opportunity, but as we all know, the guys that you play with are really important. And I don't think it's the end of line with him. I think that he needs, as a young kid, he needs to play lots of minutes in all kinds of situations and, see where it goes. And Jack Florian, he's a kid that's going to be back and be given the opportunity. But right now they want these young players to get a feel and get lots of ice and help them develop in all areas of their game.
Knuckles, you have experience coaching young guys also. If you were to speak with Joshua Roy now, what would your best advice be to him?
Well, just try and keep a good attitude, and when you get your opportunity, do what you can with it. What else can you tell them? Go run a mile or two after practice because you'll be a better player if you do it. No, work your butt off, keep a good attitude, and it's not always easy when you're that odd man out. It's tough. People don't realize how tough that can be. You question, when am I going to get my chance? And that's why it's easy to get in your own head and feel sorry for yourself. But man, you got to buckle up and do the work and just stay consistent and just be ready when you get the tap on the shoulder. And I've gotten the tap on the shoulder a few times, and I was ready.
That's a good way to end this week's Hockey Inside Out show. I hope you all enjoyed it out there. The Canadiens are off now until Saturday when the Ottawa Senators will visit the Bell Center. That should be a lot of fun. In the meantime, look for our 3 bonus episodes coming up later this week. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the Hockey Inside Out YouTube channel.